City Happenings, I'm Mayor David Black. The local Parkinson's outreach group offers important information to patients and caregivers. You'll hear from one specialist. And the Midlands Community Foundation recently held its annual Reflection Ball fundraiser. A foundation member talks about the event. Take a trip to the Sarpy Historical Museum. You'll find out some really great and fun things about this area. These stories are next in City Happenings for the week of February 2nd.
Thanks, Mayor Black. One of the important factors for Parkinson's patients and caregivers is overall wellness.
Not only for the person who has Parkinson's, but for the whole family. Because if the family is stressed, the person with Parkinson's is stressed, and the symptoms of Parkinson's are exaggerated. If you have less stress, your symptoms will be less, and you'll be less affected by the disease. And that goes for the entire family.
Caregivers need to balance their time and take time for themselves.
If a caregiver gets stressed, and often caregivers become ill and sometimes pass away before the person that they're taking care of because they've been ignoring their health and their well-being, that causes a problem for everyone. And one thing to understand, and this was true for my mother who had Parkinson's, is that they want you to be healthy. They want you to be happy. And they need a break from you sometimes, frankly. So part of being healthy in the family, especially the caregiver, is getting the help that you need. And knowing that that is actually a really good thing, not just for you, but for the family member. Having to do with guilt. One of the things that I worked with in my family was my stepfather felt a lot of guilt. And so what I told him was that it would be helpful for both of you to get some extra help. Because when my mom would talk with him, she would say, oh, you need to get away. He hated hearing that because he didn't want to get away. He loved her very much. But he came to realize that it was good for him to have time to do the things he wanted, and he came to accept that. One of the most important is that you don't become isolated. Maintain your relationships with your friends. Maintain your relationships with the community at large, whether you go to church or you belong to a club or you even volunteer. Continue to do those things. They will support you and give you the strength that you need, and you need strength to help somebody who has Parkinson's, especially if you're the primary caregiver.
The Midlands Community Foundation held its annual Reflection Ball fundraiser and recognized a couple who honor those who gave the ultimate in military service.
The Midlands Community Reflection Ball is all about raising funds for a deserving organization or organizations, depending on the year. And it's a way to talk and communicate with people that are in the community, in the Sarpy and Cass County area, that you can maybe bring better ideas or more ideas to the people that we're raising the money for, or the organization that we're raising the money for. I think it works great, and it's actually a fundraiser for the people that we're honoring or organizations that we're honoring, because we give back everything back to that organization or organizations, depending on the year, that we raise. And I think it does a great job. We do things for the community that without everybody's help and teamwork, we can't do unless we do it together. And this is probably the best way to do this. And we have a good time. I mean, you have a nice dinner. There's music. There's always we're lucky enough to have Brandy and Rob McCartney as our MCs, and they're fantastic. They make it fun for everybody, and it's just a great program and time to have for that evening. This is the best way to give back to your community for very deserving organizations. You can know where your dollars are going when you're giving your money for the tickets or tables or whatever sponsorship you're going to be doing, because you get to meet that organization and those individuals, and you get to know that your dollars are going towards a great organization.
The Sarpy Historical Museum director encourages you to come visit.
They need to come here, really, I think, to understand how our communities have grown up. Sarpy County has 5 major communities. Papillion is one of them, and Papillion has a fascinating story. You don't even have to be from Papillion, I think, to really appreciate their history. It was founded, just to give the brief history, founded by a bunch of guys who got together, the Beetle family, namely, who wanted a railroad line and fought hard, tooth and nail, to get that railroad line to come to Papillion. The railroad meant essentially life. There's a number of failed communities in Sarpy County that didn't have the railroad and ultimately faded away. Portal did have the railroad, just didn't have a big enough economic push. There's other communities that just, again, faded away. Papillion wasn't one of those, and I think today, though, you never know the importance of our early history unless you stopped for a second, took a look around, namely here or at a number of other historic sites around, and really pause to appreciate where we've come and where we have gone and where we plan on going in the future. Probably the best way to follow us is Facebook. I'd probably say that's the best way. Or, quite honestly, becoming a member here. Memberships are $15, and that gets you a newsletter. We have usually at least one program a month where we bring in a speaker, performer, entertainer. Somehow we'll manage to fill as many as 80 people in this room. I don't know how we do it sometimes, but we do. There's a lot going on here, and I'd say either becoming a member, getting that newsletter, or just taking a look on Facebook or seeing what's going on in the local media is probably the best way to follow us. So I think there's a lot of kind of that first tier people who, wow, I didn't realize we had such a history. And then there are some diehards too who really, the people who have been born and raised or third or fourth generation, who the history isn't just, a 500-word article or a 2-minute little video. They live and breathe that history. It's their lifeblood to them. So I think no matter what side of the spectrum, though, you're coming on, there's a really big appreciation for our history here.
Please don't forget the annual Senior Valentine's Day Luncheon. It's set for Wednesday, February 11th at the La Vista Community Center. Stay up to date with what's happening in Papillion. There are lots of ways to do it. You can find us on Facebook, follow the City of Papillion on Twitter, or even watch our YouTube channel. Information about all of our departments and programs is available on our website. For more about Papillion, go to www.papillion.org or just call the Mayor's Hotline at 402-827-1111. Thanks for watching.